In this video, we're going to take a look at perfect squares and square roots. Perfect squares are numbers that we get when we multiply a number by itself. So for example, 5 times 5 equals 5 squared, that's that little exponent here, which is 25. So 25 is a perfect square. And you can see that we have them listed all here, all the way 1 squared up through 20 squared. And these are ones that you are going to have to memorize. So this is something where you're going to be asked to do this without a calculator. You're going to need to know what is 5 squared, what is 18 squared, what is 12 squared. And for probably 1 through 12, you know those based on your multiplication tables, but the bigger ones you're going to have to do some studying with those. So again, a perfect square is the answer that we get when we do a number times itself. So 1 is 1 times 1. 4 is 2 times 2, 9 is 3 times 3, and so on. On the other side here, we have the square roots. So this is where we have this little symbol here, our square root symbol. It looks kind of like the division symbol, so don't be confused by that. But when we put this symbol on a number, it means what number times itself gives me that value. So the square root of 25 says what number multiplied by itself is 25? Well, we know that that is 5, so the square root of 25 is 5. If we look at the square root of 36, it says what number multiplied by itself gives you 36 as the answer? Well, that's going to be 6. And again, the square roots are ones that you are going to need to know as well. But the good news is they go together with the perfect squares. So you'll see that 11 squared is 121. The square root of 121 is 11 squared. But again, we need to know all of these too. It's not a division symbol, it's the square root symbol. The name perfect square comes in because these side lengths, when I put them together, form the shape of a square. And the number of squares inside, or the area, is the perfect square. So 3 by 3, the sides are the same here. And if I look at the area inside, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So the area there is 9. If I do a square with a side of 4, I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. That's because 4 times 4 is 16. 5 times 5, the area inside is 25. If I look at these ones inside, here we have 15. That's not a perfect square because these numbers are different. So that is not a square, it's actually a rectangle. And here inside we have 30, but 6 and 5 are not the same, so it's not a perfect square. So some questions we might see like this, if we look at the first one, which of the following are perfect squares? So use the chart at the top of your packet, pause the video, and circle the squares. All right, so if we look at these, 4 is the same thing as 2 times 2. 65 is not on our list of perfect squares, neither is 105. 144 is 12 times 12. 169 is 13 times 13. 225 is 15 times 15. 325 is not a perfect square, it's close to 324, but it's not one here, and 400 is 20 times 20. For number 2, we want to know which of the following are true, so which of those are correct. Go ahead and pause the video and see if you can figure that out. All right, so we do know that 10 squared is the same thing as 10 times 10, that is equal to 100. And then 12 squared is the same thing as 12 times 12, which is 144. So those are both true. The square root of 324 is actually equal to 18, not 17. 14 squared is 14 times 14, and that is not 150, that's actually 196. Square root of 25 is 5, because 5 times 5 equals 25, so that one is correct. And the square root of 391 is not 19. 391 is not a perfect square, so that's going to be a decimal, 19 point something, but not exactly equal to 19. If we want to know what number is the square root of 81, we want to know what number times itself is equal to 81. Go ahead and answer that now. All right, so something times itself is equal to 81. 9 times 9 is 81. So the square root, which is this symbol again, remember, of 81 is equal to 9. And our last one, what is 14 squared? So in other words, when I do 14 times 14, what do I get? Well, when we multiply 14 by itself, 14 times 14, we get 196. So again, these can be tricky. It's a lot of information up front, but if you spend some time studying and practicing each day, this will get a whole lot easier.